so I got a call from the niece of the man who owns this car, and he was an airplane mechanic, and he was also a race car guy, just a racing enthusiast. And so anyway, he's at a stage where he can't drive, and the car needed to be sold. So I went over to check out the car, and you know, the house looked familiar to me. The whole thing looked familiar to me. And we arranged to get the car, and I'm driving back, and I'm thinking about the guy's name, and I'm thinking, I know this guy. I think I know this guy. So I dig into my hard drive, into the Wayback Time Machine, and 17 years ago, he had me sell an Oldsmobile F-85 for him. And I remember him talking about this car nonstop. Every time I spoke with him, he just loved this car. So I was so excited, I got back to her and I let her know, hey, I knew your uncle. And I sold a car for him, and that was just even cooler. So because he was a mechanic, you know, there weren't a lot of repair records on the car. But she gave me what she did have, and on what she had, there was a couple of phone numbers. And actually, there were no phone numbers, there were two names. One was the name of the woman who owned it originally, and then there was another man. So I searched the web for this guy. I find him, I tell him that I've got this car, and I ask if, you know, he has a relationship with this car, and he gets back to me so enthusiastic. He said, my family has been wondering where that car has been for over 30 years. And he tells me the story of how when our client Nelson bought the car from his mother, that he, after I think she had passed away, that he promised he was going to take great care of this car, and gave them his word, and God, he sure did. This thing is amazing. And so anyway, the original owner's son worked for Chrysler and actually designed the dashboard. And so she had bought the car through him at the employee discount, and had the car shipped to Northern California to her home, and she owned the car for years and years. And then when she passed away, it was sold to my client Nelson, who then brought it back, and it was all just a very low mileage, super clean original car. And he took out the original V8 and put in this 440, which we don't know exactly, but we don't suspect there's many miles on it at all. And when you look at the pictures, the engine compartment is like brand new. So that's the story on how we got the car and where it's been. It's been with two owners its entire life. And actually, the previous owner's family is going to come up and take a drive. They were so excited to hear the car was for sale, so they want to come up and just see it one more time. So that's the story on how we get the car. So this car just gets up and goes. I don't know exactly, but I think the 440 is probably a completely stock configuration, and I'm sure it was just rebuilt top to bottom, knowing Nelson. The car has a ton of power. It just starts up, it runs beautifully, it's absolutely solid. The braking, the suspension, everything feels fantastic on it. Everything in here is working great except the radio. It doesn't work, and I can understand. This is a bumpy road, by the way. It's fine. But everything's working great. All the gauges, the lights, the heater works beautifully. He added an oil pressure gauge down here, which shows very high oil pressure. It's in the, you know, I can't tell, but let's see, about 70 PSI while we're driving. He added a hood release as well to make sure the hood stays secure. And it's so nice to drive. It's so solid. It drives fantastic. I mean, it's just, the steering feels nice. The suspension's great. The braking's outstanding. You know, you can tell he just took really great care of this car. All right, so there you go. That's it on the 72 Dodge Charger. This is an incredible car with such a short owner list and so nicely preserved and so beautifully upgraded with this 440. There's a lot more in the description on my website at Left Coast Classics. Check that out. And be sure to check us out on all the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Now just about 8 million views. Pretty good. 3 episodes of Wheeler Dealers. I've been in 3 so far. We did a 57 Ford Thunderbird way back in the Ed China days. We did a 1972 Lancia Fulvia, I think in 2018, that one here. And we just had our 3rd episode air December 29th, 2020 on the Motor Trend channel with Mike Brewer, and that was for a really cool one-owner Triumph TR4, so check that episode out. If you have any other questions, give me a call. My number's down below. And thanks for checking out this awesome Dodge Charger. So let's head underneath the Charger. This thing is unbelievable, starting with just the rear valance. Like, look how nice the valance is. The front one's the same. It's absolutely rust-free and unscathed under here. It's so clean and original. It's unbelievable. Look at the floors. They're just beautiful. The engine is not a leaker. It's damp a little bit, but nothing that needs to be addressed. Look at these inner rockers. They're just perfect. Everything is so clean. You can see the original mileage on this car just by looking at the undercarriage. A little glary over here this time of the morning, but it's the same over here. Just beautiful inner rockers, beautiful frame, no rust, no rot. This car's been indoors its entire life, so that's pretty amazing. And these floors are just super clean and nice. So there you go, just a beautiful Charger and a beautiful undercarriage. Okay, one thing I like to do, especially for you guys that are back in the Midwest or the East Coast where you see a lot of rust on cars, is just show you with my really lightweight little magnet. And you can see behind all of these parts on the undercarriage shots. But look at that. Just, I can't hear any fillers so far. Let's go around to the, let's go back to the quarter here. This is all visible from the photos under the car, but look at that. Just grabs it, no hesitation. Let's head around to the other side. Look at that rear valance. Is that just beautiful or what? It just grabs the metal like no one's business. Listen to that, pure metal. This has got to be like the best rockers I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I got to say, we get some pretty good ones just because of where we are. But this is what happens with the 2-owner Charger. It's never spent a night outside. There you go.